Okay. Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. This is Addie's Diary. I'm your host, Aday Lane, and we are here with an upcoming artist, Akeem, talking about his latest single, Uptown Soldier. Akeem, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. I really appreciate getting space today for Chicago, but really, more so the north side of Chicago, which I feel like doesn't get a lot of love and attention. And I think part of that is just due to the rich history out south on the east side or west sides of Chicago. But a lot of this now for me is just like to just, put ourselves out there and just say, like, yo, we got culture. We've been here the whole time. And I just kind of want to stamp that. So it feels good.
Awesome, awesome. So let's take it back
Yeah,
to when you
yeah.
first started pursuing music. What was
Mhm.
that initiation into music? Were you involved in music, like around family, or were you interested on your phone? What was that introduction to music?
Yeah, great question. I would say like my first introduction was I remember being a shorty and just like watching BET. I think it was like maybe 106 in Park or something like that. And they had I must have been like 5 or 6. I just have this visceral memory of it. But it was the front end beautiful video. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It was the beautiful video with Pharrell and Snoop Dogg. I was
Mhm.
watching that and I was just super enamored by like what I was hearing, and then two, I just love the visuals. Brazil looked amazing, beautiful ladies. So it just it took me on that journey, and I knew early on I wanted to be a producer. And I think that's just where it started from. But
Mhm.
beyond that, my dad used to force me to watch Michael Jackson, like recorded tapes. So that's kind of the start.
So I know you speak about Pharrell and Michael Jackson and your father. Are there
Hmm.
any other influences that you had, both producer-wise and also artist-wise?
Yeah, definitely. My mom raised me on a lot of like 80s R&B music, so like Cameo, the Gap Band. It goes on and on, but that would be like a good reference point. But beyond as far as artists, Anita Baker, Phil Collins, Kid Cudi, Drake, Kanye's definitely on there as well. And then I'll say Sean Paul. Sean Paul was a big one for me too.
Hey, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So one thing that I discovered when I went to your page is your immediate fashion sense. What what were some influences that you look to fashion-wise?
um, I appreciate that one.
Mhm.
I don't know. I think I just in high school I always just had like a visual arts background, so that I got to be a little quirky with my style early on, going to the thrift stores and just like really just trying to put fits together. So me and my friends, that was like a whole thing. But I feel like I get a lot of my swag from like um, I feel like my parents too. Like they were really big on just looking the part and making sure that you come correct every time. So
Right,
I would
right.
say that hip hop is a big influence for sure. So Pharrell definitely inspired me early on. I just love the way he kind of put stuff together. Kanye's a big influence. Kid Cudi, I think those three right there like really inspired me to just
Mhm.
like find my own swag and my own sauce. But also, I love the Juice movie. Like that's my favorite movie ever. So I feel like when I saw that movie, like it just really inspired me to just like get a part of my hair. Tupac was just killing me. I just loved how baggy everything was, and
Mhm.
I just try to infuse that in my swag too.
Awesome. So you
Yeah.
love the past as well. Awesome.
For
Awesome.
sure.
So let's talk about your a single that you did before this.
Hmm.
Thinking of me, I what I noticed was that for some of the covers, you would
Hmm.
use women that we looked up to and known as like a video
Hmm.
vixen or a film vixen.
Wow, that's crazy.
What was the inspiration behind that single?
Wow, that's crazy. You did that research. That's crazy. Prepared. I love it. Yeah, I think for me it was just more so like the 2000s was just a really integral time in my like upbringing, and I'm 29 now, so
Mhm.
I was just going back and just like pulling the layers back in. I really wanted to just like do something a little different, but that time was just so special. So I grew up on BET 106 in Park. I wasn't supposed to be watching BET at certain moments, and I think I was just always enamored by the beautiful black women on the screen. So I wanted to pay homage. Um, and yeah, that was a little bit about that. But I think the other piece to it was just like, how do you create like a visual identity with the music? And I think that's something that's really almost just as important to me.
Mhm.
as making the music itself, like what visuals can accompany that. So I wanted it to feel very consistent and thematic, and it had like a certain color palette to it. But I also wanted to honor like what I was influenced by, what I loved growing up. So 106 and Park, BT, all of that, you know?
Right, right. Um, I do wanna ask, when it comes to producing, one
Hmm.
thing I'm always interested in is how do you guys start? Like, does it start with the beat in your head? Are you just going along as you go? How does that process come together when producing, when you're just looking at different beats and how to put them in certain categories to make it sound as one when you're finished with that process?
Yeah, I love that question. Hmm. I feel like for me, it starts with the beat first because I would consider myself more of a producer, like first. So for me, it's the beat, and then the lyrics and all of the energy attached to it is after. So I might come up with something, and a melody will come out, or mumbled words will come together. It's like a puzzle almost. Like sometimes you don't really know where being led to. I really do think of music as like a spiritual experience. So I'm just a vessel, and like whether it's Uptown Soldier or anything I've created in the past, I just follow the feeling, and I like things to feel really raw and authentic. So you might really hear that in the music, but as far as the process, I typically just start with the beat, and then from there put it in Logic, and then we just start recording little pieces before it becomes this amazing collage of
Yes.
sound.
Yes. Yeah, like, when I was doing my deep dive on your page, and
Yeah.
it's so many videos of you producing and just seeing it all come together, I'm like, "Whoa, so this is how it works."
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
I'm getting like, you're letting us inside, like, your creative world, your creative process, and
Hmm.
so thank you for
Yeah.
that.
Thank
Yes.
you.
So
Thank you for
let's
seeing me.
yes, no problem, no problem. Let's go Town Soldier. When I
For
tell you
sure.
guys, when I heard this beat,
Mm.
oh my gosh, and the lyrics and the love for your hometown, I'm just like,
Yeah,
I need to speak with him.
I
Please tell
appreciate
us
that.
about this love story for Chicago, Uptown Soldier.
Ooh wee, man. I don't know where to start, man. I just, I think just yeah, like I said before, like since the genesis of my career, if you go back further to my first project when I first started back in 2015, 2016, just pursuing this craft,
Mhm.
I always wanted it to be. I don't know. I just felt like I wanted to carve out a space for Uptown, and I saw two polarities growing up. I saw a lot of struggle. I saw a lot of strife, but then at the same token, be white people walking their dogs in jogger pants, and it was
Mhm.
just like this interesting paradox for me that I grew up seeing, and on the same blocks. So it just gave me a unique perspective on life, and I feel like that part of Chicago wasn't getting enough kind of love or coverage. So I think for me, this I don't know, man. I wasn't feeling like for a while I feared failure. Like I got to a space I'm like, man, these projects I'm putting my all into, and you want it to do well. So I just stayed in the single bag, but then like I don't know, I feel like God just was like, no, you got to drop a project. So I feel like that whole kind of inspiration came from that space. And then the more I tapped into it, me and my homies having conversations about the north side of Chicago, because there's different parts of the north side too. It's just very complex in itself. But just feeling like, man, we all were in this bag, like, yo, we got to do something. So I wanted it to feel very movement heavy on this project. And that
Mhm.
even if you're not from Chicago or from Uptown, you feel like you're a part of that. And if you feel like you're not, you feel like you're just not getting that love that you feel like you deserve, or the respect on the music to this is for you. If you feel like an underdog, this is what that is.
Right, right. And I noticed also that you do interviews to people who
Hmm.
are of and from Chicago.
Hmm.
What does that mean to you, including your community and the art that you wanted to put out?
Yeah, that probably meant the world to me. Honestly, I would have rolled that out first if it wasn't for time, but
Mhm.
um I really wanted to cover the different kind of perspectives on Uptown. Like I think there's people that's in the streets that I'm connected to. There's people that are not in the streets, but just a little quirky, or just different people in the neighborhood that we all kind of knew each other, kind of growing up, went to the same areas and programs, and it was just very important to make this thing beyond me. I just wanted to be. Um, just someone who helped push the culture forward. And I think highlighting these stories are super really like super important to me and integral to not just the project, but integral to just like the history of Chicago, and then just not forgetting us. You know what I'm saying? I just want to let people
Right,
know that we exist on the north side, and this is what that looks like. You're gonna get the street guys, you're gonna get the people not in the streets, but this is the melting pot that we all kind of exist in. You know?
right, right. Like, it's one thing to sing about or rap about the place which you're from, but you are so involved. And
Mm-hmm.
one thing that stuck out was your news interview about about your foundation,
Mm-hmm.
um, Circle Ciphers. Can
Mm-hmm.
you please talk a little bit about Circle Ciphers?
Yeah, Circles and Ciphers, we're a hip hop infused restorative justice organization. Restorative justice is just basically a different way of approaching harm, as opposed to like relying on the justice system in different ways or prisons to address conflict and harm. Really using these indigenous practices and circles to really rectify really deep issues. So it holds both empathy and accountability. But beyond that, I'm not, we're not the only organization that does the work. It's really expansive throughout the nation, but we're different in the sense that we incorporate hip hop in
Right.
these with these indigenous practices. So I've been a part of the organization for about 10 years now. I started when I was like 19 years old. I was a recent college dropout, and I bumped into circles, and it just ultimately changed my life. But we really support young people impacted by violence, incarceration. We just kind of help them get to a space of sustainability and just being like healthy members of society. So that's a little bit about
Wow, you're a very complex person. Like,
it.
the authenticity,
Yeah.
the creativity, the community, and having a sense of belonging is
Mhm.
just really impressive.
I
So, can
appreciate
you
that.
please talk about your upcoming projects and what we can look forward to from Akeem?
Yes, it's coming out tomorrow actually, on the 29th. I'm really nervous, excited because it is a new sound, but I feel like I found that nice bridge between being super avant-garde and then like being like, I guess I would say like um, digestible. That's what I would say. Um, I feel like this project encapsulates, a lot of like my practice and my hours. Um, like I said before, it's been a journey. So being able to get to a space where like I could do this and continue to do it has just been a real labor of love. So I
Mhm.
think this project you'll get all the different parts of me and parts of the people I grew up with. Some of the stories of people that I've seen growing up, So I hope by the end of it, people understand that like I'm like a black alien, So that's where I'm at.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank
Yeah,
you so much. I have enjoyed so much of your just conversation and
thank you,
how much you're involved with your community, which is just a blessing from
thank you,
an artist. And just the art that you are willing to put out and involve us in
thank
yourself is
you.
just beautiful. So thank you so much for coming on today. Thank
Thank,
you.
thank you, and I got to say thank you really more thoroughly than that because I think it means a lot that you recognize something and just wanted to reach out so early in my journey in certain ways. So I just want to tell you thank you, and it's a special thing that you're doing. I was on your page as well and seeing how intentional you are about the history, and that's part of the reason why I wanted to um, get interviewed by you because you seem really intentional. So thank you for showing love that way.
Thank you so much. And make sure you all check out Uptown Soldier and also his new projects to come out October 29th.
Let's get
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.